good to see you in person, Raja. Thank you for joining the call today. Again, where are you joining from?
I am in New York City.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm actually visiting New York City on Friday. I'm not sure if I told you. I have my parents visiting from Eastern Europe. So,
Very
as
nice. Okay.
I've come to the country, I think that's great for them to see the New York first. I sent you the agenda. I don't know. I'm not sure if you had a chance to review it. I'm gonna just get started. So thanks again for making the time. I've been looking forward to this conversation. Just to give you some quick background, I'm the founder of the AI Partner Lab, where we help companies move from scattered AI experiments to the scalable real-world implementation. We specialize in more of a combining AI with operational systems, especially CRM platforms like Salesforce. Personally, I come from a Salesforce development background, so I've spent years helping companies architect and implement complex systems before expanding into broader AI and automation strategy. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I started this podcast, to have real conversations with leaders like yourself who are actually building and executing at scale. So just want to pass the ball to you and have you introduce yourself for the audience. I don't know if I mentioned you will have some content for your personal page as well as some business page that you're using.
My name is Roger Gopalan. I've been working with SAP, big data, and data science over the last 30 years or so, and over the last 3 or 4 years, gotten much more involved in the AI scene. Produced several products related to automation and RPA again in the past, and when I say several, like half a dozen or more. And one of the examples of the productivity and power of AI is that our company has produced 8 AI products already in the last 3 years, as opposed to 5 or 6 over the last 15 odd years. So I'm a big believer in the productivity value of AI, the marketing value, the sales value, as long as it is done the right way. And that is going, pretty much the bulk of what we do is you've got these wonderful tools to work with. Are you going to use your amazing book to learn and read more? Or are you going to use your amazing book as a bookstop? Your choice.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally agree. It sounds like you guys have been ahead of the game before this has become popular between the companies. Like ChatGPT came out in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, and that's when it take over, the whole world, and big companies like Google, OpenAI itself has started implementing all over. So, with your experience and doing this for so many years, what are the biggest shifts you have seen in enterprise AI adoption over the last few years? I want to break it down into different stages, I say, post ChatGPT and pre-ChatGPT.
Okay. Yeah, pre-ChatGPT, I think AI was all over the place. I mean, AI, of course, has been there. If you look at a book that I wrote about AI for the enterprise, I speak briefly about the last 50 years where artificial intelligence, you have Alan Turing was one of the great proponents and scientists over the last 50 years. But what changed was 3 years ago when OpenAI came out with this breakthrough to be able to say that statistically we can take pretty much the entire internet and put that into data, put that into our systems, and from that you've got your machine learning and you've got your quantitative analysis, and you can do all that so much faster. And that's what got the big boost. So ChatGPT was
You cut off for a second, Raja.
Yeah, actually, you're freezing as well on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, so it sounds like you mentioned, AI has been all over the place before the ChatGPT has came out, and other, forward-going AI systems that we're seeing right now. I want to deep dive into a little bit of your experience and what brought you to actually to writing a book about AI. Like, sounds like you've led some teams at scale. What's the key to building high-performing AI teams today?
I would say that the key to building a high-performing team is, like you say to a person, know thyself. And I would say that to a company as well. Know yourself. I look at implementing enterprise AI as 4 different components: strategy, governance, policy, and execution. So that's the key there, that you have these 4 items, and it's like driving a car. And in many ways, it's really like we were at the end of the 19th century with cars and motorcycles. That's one of the biggest things I've seen, that you're driving a car, as they did in the beginning of the 19th century. You're going much, much, much exponentially faster than before. But you still have to obey certain laws, right? You can't go and hurt somebody. People, one of the biggest problems with the automobile in the beginning was that people just didn't recognize it, and people would get hurt and people would die. One of the inventors of the motorcycle, in fact, these engines, was Nicholas Cugno, who died. So you have that also. So you need to have your brakes. What does that mean for AI? We need to have the brakes. We need to have the speed. We still need to have the productivity, and you need to have the governance around it. You have, when you get all of them together, that's your strategy, governance, policy, and execution. And the better functioning your organization is, the better set you are to take advantage of AI in the future.
So that's an interesting topic you touched base on, actually, about having gas brakes and to know where to brake. I think there's a lot of discussion going on right now to have whether it's like a federal governance over AI or some sort of a governance, or have a lever to have a stop sign on it. A lot of people are very afraid of the Terminator style of ending of it and such. Could you elaborate a little bit of what does your company, I know you guys are implementing AI, what does your company put in place to actually, I guess, to prevent the chaos or have it go out of hand? I guess would be easier to explain in more of a non-technical way for people who don't understand the algorithms and such.
Absolutely. No, I don't talk much about algorithms, because our work really is about what we call implementing safe AI with high-touch consulting. That's really the way we do it, is make sure that you've got people there who have ownership of your data, who have ownership of your policies, and who are watching to make sure that you have a business case. So whatever you're doing, you must have a business reason to do that particular case. Whatever strategy your company has, you need to apply and modify that strategy for AI, but also be prepared to have that strategy evolve, because things are changing so fast right now. We did not have generative AI the way we understand it 3 years ago, clearly. We do not have agentics AI today. Every year we get a difference, and we don't know. Now people are talking about, the quantum computing as well. And you could have a quantum computing with AI tomorrow, or it could be 5 years down the road, we don't know. And these are just amazing technologies, but we need to do it for good, clearly. We want to do it for good. And in the context of the corporation, you want to make sure that you're applying it for business value and in a way that benefits all your stakeholders. And I do believe that it's possible to do that.
Yeah, so right now, in your company, is it something that you can speak on? And I totally understand if there's a company policy or something. How do you guys actually, I know you do AI implementation to your clients. Is there some guideline that you're providing on, how to prevent that from happening? Or is there some sort of a lever that you guys have implemented?
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that, Raja?
Without elaborating too much on the technical details, and to be honest, I don't personally know all the technical details, because we have our brilliant programmers who handle that part. But in principle, one of the key things that we do is whenever an AI gives a response, we make sure that you have an immediate response option for the person using it. Okay, there is a problem with the data. This answer is incorrect, and it goes back to our developers. And the developers speak to the data owners. So you have that circle of trust, where you have your data owners, you have your developers, and you have senior executives who ultimately are in charge of governance, who will look at it and say, okay, we sign off on this, oh, we need to change our data. And so effectively you have AI-enabled data cleansing as part of your offering as well. You want to have AI-enabled bias mitigation. One of the things that actually became an issue was when somebody looked at gaps on a woman's resume, and because the woman took time off for childbirth, it is illegal to discriminate on that basis. But if your AI doesn't check it properly, it will simply say, oh, there's a gap, and that will be marked as a negative. So you just want to be very careful with the way AI works, so there's not a bias. And once AI is done, that also makes them vulnerable, makes companies vulnerable to lawsuits. So we want to make sure we do it the right way.
Interesting. Yeah, that's actually a very great point. I mean, that could have been so easy to be neglected if that, wouldn't be a part of the algorithm. I want to shift the conversation to a business side of AI. I know we discussed how it works. Some of the business of my target audience is mainly the people who are actually in this industry and trying to do consulting as well as helping other companies with AI implementation. So from the business side of it, are there any specific KPIs or business outcome you personally use to measure success on AI projects?
That's a fantastic question, and we think about that all the time. That is the whole point of it. If you don't have a business case, and if you don't have a business value, then I don't really care if your AI image is wonderful and your lips are syncing perfectly, and it doesn't. Or I'll give you an example right now of a certain speech. I'm not going to use the name. So a certain speech app that was used for one of these college graduations, everybody's pronunciation was perfect, and that was wonderful. The mistake they made was they did not time that AI to be in sync with the students walking in. So very quickly you had a perfectly pronounced, hard to spell out name. The name was perfectly pronounced, except it was done 5 students later or 5 students earlier. So that's a case of checking this out. The other thing is you must have business value. Whatever you're doing, you must be able to say, these are the financial benefits and these are the intangible benefits. 2 different things. You are able to access 3 different dissimilar bodies of data. Happens with companies all the time. And if you can do that, you can get better insights faster. And I've had customers who are able to easily document 300% benefits, 400% benefits. That said, for that one use case. But for companies as a whole, we like to target a 30% improvement over the current internal rate of return. Now I'm going into a little bit of the financial jargon. You asked about business.
No, that's great. Yeah.
So if the internal rate of return for a company is determined to be 10%, very clearly the AI value should be at least 13%. And now you're bringing things down to earth, because now you're not talking 200% or 300%, but you're saying, hey, let's make sure we can document 13% across the board. And that'll be huge for $1 billion company, let's say.
Yeah, on a scale of $1 billion, 13% is definitely a game changer. And how do you go from 200% to 13%, or from 13% to 200%? I imagine there is something different that you guys do. Could you delve a little bit into that? What are the differences you see between customers who actually get, 13% versus 200%?
So 13% is what we want to achieve across the board for the company. And that means that, AI is going to be implemented in specific areas. Of course, it could be implemented in all areas, but, there are limits to what you want to do. But you need to get to, in your small use case related to, say, 3 different data sets. I'm talking of something I've actually had to do in the past. You have 3 dissimilar data sets, 3 dissimilar systems. You're able to bring it down, read AI. Now you've got one data lake, if you will. So I'm talking a lot of traditional data science terms as well. But now you're putting AI on it and saying, oh, give me the summaries, give me the extractions of the data, give me a statistical normalized variant of what you're doing, and you're just telling the AI to do all that. Or you tell the AI to go and write the programming for it, vibe coding. Again, a new term, vibe coding. You're not actually coding anymore. You are asking the AI to do the coding for you. Very, very powerful systems. So you have to be able to get that level of return for the small use case to be able to impact the entire company.